Welcome to the MaxBet podcast, a podcast dedicated to everything gaming. I'm Landon Jones, here with Mike McKiskey. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to the MaxBet podcast. We are in our new studio and we're pumped.
We're juiced, man. This is fun. It's weird seeing like the third new spot.
Yeah.
I guess it's the second spot because like the first one was just all digital.
Yeah.
And then it became, we had your house basically.
Yeah.
And now we have a real office studio set up, which is so far so good.
Yeah. And today is Tuesday. And this literally didn't exist on Friday, so
Yeah,
it's been a run.
Yeah, it's wild. This room specifically, right? Because like, we had the building, and we've been in here for now almost a month, and it's like just construction project after blowing holes in walls and just making it yours. And then finally we put the face on it today.
Yeah,
get to have one of our buddies in here and talk some gaming, talk some product, kick it open.
I'm pretty excited to have Mr. Andrew Burke in the office today in the studio, and he is coming with presents, which we will talk about. But other than that, man, how are you personally?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel like hitting 2022, not 22 years old. It's been good. Just kind of going in. Like, I feel like it's the first year I didn't lie to myself about having like unrealistic goals.
Right.
Like, I feel like every year you go in and you go, no, I'm going to do these 5 things. I'm going to climb Mount Everest and lose a ton of weight and make a bunch of money and like, whatever the people do. Right. And it's like, I'm not going to do any of that. So like, I just was like, I'm going to try to look at this less. That's one of my goals.
But you know what your other goal is?
Is what? Content.
Is content to post more.
Yeah, but today,
those are contradictory.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, how long does content take, right? We were outside earlier.
Yeah.
And we throw a little ping pong down. Like, we play ping pong. What? It takes 10 minutes to make a game, and then you're done.
Yeah.
You could post it, maybe cut a video out of it. I don't know. And it's like, now you've made content. So the content isn't this ominous, like 24 hours in a day, like you have to grind it out. Like, some of it, like if you're doing a podcast, right, you got to plan it, you got to coordinate guests, right? That's obviously more involved, but an IG post isn't that bad. Or
we don't need more things to do for resolutions.
Right.
You talk about climbing Mount Everest. I feel like sometimes starting your own business
is our own Everest.
Is your own Everest.
Take that mountain.
But you don't even know where the top is. That's the scary part about this mountain.
Yeah. It's like on Homeward Bound. You remember that movie when you were a kid? Like I was like a 7-year-old crying in the theater. But like you remember the dog gets porcupined in the face.
I still cry.
Like, well, I'm sure I haven't watched it in a while. Maybe I'll take the kids to watch that one. Anyway, like they go over the first mountain and they're like, yeah. Then they see like 6 more mountains and they're like, no, like we're not even close to where we have to be. That's what this is.
Have you ever cried in a movie? I cry all the time.
Dude, I cried the other night. We watched Sing 2 in the theater. So it's a kid's movie, right? And most of it is happy, fun, feel good. But there's like a redemption arc on one of them, and there's like all these different things. And it's an animated movie. Yeah. And I'm sitting in there going, oh man, I'm in it now. Like, I'm not even teary-eyed. I am full-blown, like there's tears. I'm like napkin, trying to hide it from not that I'm hiding it, but I'm like, I want to look a little tough in the public eye. But yeah, it was fun. I'm losing it. I cry all the time. I fully connect with the characters in the movies I watch.
I'm glad to know that, because sometimes I'll just be watching a movie at my house. I'm like, pretty chopped up right now. I'm about to cry talking about it.
What movie was it that's bringing you this one?
It's too funny.
But it's funny because then you sit there, because to me, like, especially as you get older, or like maybe it's just you've gone through more life stuff. Yeah, you can relate, right? Like, so it's not like when you're a kid, I don't remember crying as much because I'm going, so what? Like, you lost your job, who cares? Like, what does that even mean? Yeah. And now you see a movie where somebody's like trying really hard and they get smacked by reality, and you're like, oh, they don't eat now. Like, you know what I mean? The weight of it sits more with you. And so you start seeing it, or like, like with the Sing, I think it was, I don't want to ruin it, but like one of the characters has this big comeback, right? And not that anyone cares about that, but like, it's just funny because you're like, whoa, like you understand like in real life, like how much courage and tenacity that would take. Right. Right. Because you're sitting there going, I don't know if I could do that. And I know it's a cartoon, but I'm sitting there going, if that wasn't a cartoon, that's ballsy. Like, that's a big deal. So I feel like for me, it just settles in and you go, oh, okay. Yeah. Here we go. Tears are coming out now.
You know what we don't have right now?
What?
which I just noticed. And if you're listening, you probably don't care, but we don't have a wide angle of us.
Oh, we don't do that. We got you and me.
Interesting.
Zach, so fun fact, but they're getting perfect switches, I'm guessing, in the back. Because Zach's in the other room. He's got the switcher now. So when I'm talking,
the Black Magic
boom,
board.
Me. And then you start talking, boom.
Let's talk a little bit about that Mount Everest.
Okay.
I kind of maybe people don't care what we're doing, but the podcast is it's fun. This is our hobby. We get to do this.
This is cool. I like doing this.
This is my favorite part of it all, right? And then you think about what else are we doing? And you got a television network, which is playing in the other room. Yeah. 24-hour
TV,
live content, curated content,
50-ish influencers and more common every week.
It's really fun, exciting. That's about to be live for the world to see.
Yeah.
Then we also have created our own YouTube.
Yeah, the .com side, the MaxBetTV.com.
It's essentially a Twitch, but for actual gambling. So
yeah, the idea is the content. Being, look, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to do it, right? But I think the biggest one is we feel like there's no community for it, right? Like even these influencers, like they've done a fantastic job back channeling to each other, right? So it's like almost like the old thing, like real recognize real. So like one influencer do a channel, and another influencer go, oh, well, let's be friends. And that's what's cool is like they all talk like,
oh yeah, it's a cool community.
I'd say it's 90% everybody gets along, and then there's a couple rivalries kind of mixed in here and there, but like it's pretty cool. Yeah. Right? But then at the same time, we go, well, you're all just in this void of space and time. That's like the YouTube thing. And it's like, am I looking at slot videos or recipes or movie clips or inspirational quotes or whatever you look at on YouTube? It's like, why not just make a site just for that, just for gambling, just for content related to our industry? And we put it out there, and a lot of people said, yeah, that'd be cool. So we built it.
Yep. And then we, this is the first time we're mentioning it, but we're coming out with our own film project.
Yeah.
And it kind of just sparked out of nowhere, right?
It's weird. So like, you know, you just go into it. So it's funny. We were talking earlier, because Andrew's here today. So we're talking to Casey Whalen, just a total stud. Probably got voted nicest guy in the biz. If
he's
he hasn't,
the best.
He's my vote. And anyway, but he was just saying, he's like, so how's it like, because you guys are like 100 days out. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. Right?
It feels like 10 years.
And it feels like 10 years and 10 seconds all at the same time. Like it feels like I can remember just yesterday sitting in meetings going, what are we going to do tomorrow on the whole blah, blah, blah corporate bullshit. And then I can remember sitting there going, you know how long ago that feels like? It's just such a weird perspective.
Talk about the Graydon project a little bit.
That's what I was going to say. But then you get into the world and you go, well, what would be fun?
Right.
So like our main mission now is to be like, let's just have some fun. Let's bring cool people together. Let's do stuff. So we went out and I should give you credit, decided, wouldn't it be fun to do a trip where we bring some of the top influencers, top content creators, and just get them together and do a fun trip. Right. To a casino. So we were talking to
like an over the top trip.
Just an over the top, like show their life. Right. And so we were talking to Brian Green.
Yeah. And Graydon.
And a gentleman, also former podcast guest. And we said, hey, we want to do this. He goes, why don't you do it at Graydon? Yeah. We said, oh, well, that'd be fun. And then all of a sudden he rallies like the whole team. Their GM's amazing, right? Lana.
And why don't you throw a private jet in there?
Well, then Lana's like, well, why don't we get like a jet from Vegas to Napa and then do that? And then
so it's wine tour.
So wine tour, some gambling. We'll debut some new games. We'll talk about some live stuff. We'll do. And so they all, to their credit, they just all look at us and go, yeah, we should do that. Let's do that.
Pretty rad.
So in March, I don't want to give the dates. We'll talk about the dates later, but like in March, we're going to do that. So we're going to bring 6 influencers, MaxBet
full film crew,
full film crew, private jet up to Graydon, smash on some new games, smash on some old games, gamble, have a little fun, drink a little wine.
Be interesting to see kind of our energy and like our thoughts going to Graydon. And then what everybody's kind of like energy level is coming back. Either like they took the casino down or the casino took them down.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of it will depend on the results of the gaming. Right?
That'll be funny.
I feel like if you go up there and you're going like some of these guys bet a lot of money, right? Like these are high limit players. So it's like they go up and they go, well, I'm bringing $100,000 to go smash the high limit room. And sometimes the high limit room smashes back. Yeah. And so it's like, so in that case, you're like, man, that's a hard one. That balloon is popped. But if you take that money in and you go, man, I just locked up, Lock It Link, high limit, Huff and Puff, whatever. And you're going, oh,
We should do that. Like how much cash we have on the plane going to Graydon,
tally,
and how much cash we don't have coming back, or vice versa. Maybe we have more cash. You know.
Well, if we win too much, they'll be like, you guys can fly Delta back all.
Yeah, we got you guys a Greyhound bus ticket.
So anyway, we're doing like a 3-day over the top trip with a bunch of the top influencers up to Graydon.
And those are our things. Like we're staying focused right there. And
I think it's a lot. That's not even like, it's funny because that's like a big thing and it's fun, but it's not even our focus. Like our focus is just bringing the content to the world, just getting that on, streamlining it. So I laugh because we're talking about it right now, but if somebody went to the website tomorrow, they'd be like, this isn't fully there. So it's like, we're just moving it into production. The content's still being loaded. So you'd kind of have probably a disappointing experience for now, but when we're truly launched, let's call it like February 1, then you'll be like, oh, we get it now.
You get it.
There's a whole new thing here that we're trying to do. So, but yeah, we're having a blast, and I'll tell you, you learn so much, man.
You're not kidding.
Well, I'm the nerd, right? Like when I was a VP at AGS, it was like I'm the guy giving the team books every quarter, doing the stuff and leadership, and got my MBA because I was like, I want to learn more and more and more. And then I'm going, all that knowledge. So all the book, every 12 to 30 books a year, depending on the year and the nature of the book, and advanced degrees and all that. I'm going, I'm pretty sure I learned more in the last 100 days of what it means to do and run a business.
Trial by fire,
then
baby.
You learn all that other way. You just got to get in the game.
I've been curious about that with you.
Okay.
So you were my boss at AGS. You're a great boss.
Thank you.
Did a great job leading the team. We had awesome meetings. I never felt like
you know how I know you mean it is that I'm still not your boss today. So you don't have to say it. So it's good.
No, right. But I mean, now like watching you kind of take that leadership over into your own thing. What is that like for you? Is that, you said you've learned more. Is it what you thought it would be, or is it completely different? Or is it like you're scared, or you're like, this is what I thought it would be?
It's weird. I'm never scared on my own behalf.
Right.
Right. So like if I'm thinking about like, and I wouldn't say fear is the word, but like the things that concern me.
Right.
Is like, well, we have a plan.
Right.
And if that plan goes well, we're going to be fine.
Right.
But knowing that, like what Mike Tyson says, like everybody got a plan until you get punched in the face, knowing that you're going to get punched, like that plan is going to have something go wrong.
Right. Well, we've had a lot of things go wrong.
Fair. But still we're on track with like what I think of as like the most important part of the plan, like the revenue part of the plan, the financial part of the plan, right? Because that's where you look at it and you go, okay, we're on track there. So the office was shifted from what we thought to where we are. And it went, like certain things happen and you go, well, the cloud provider went completely sideways. You go, okay, so we got to pivot and run and scramble drill. And
that was a straight kick to the face.
Yeah, big shout to our tech partners, our co-founder partners that solved that problem for us or helped us solve that problem. So it's like those guys handled it. And so like as a team, we really gelled, but it's like, okay, so that's all just supporting structure. Right. But like the real part of the plan is like, man, we got employees, man.
Yeah.
Like we got people that are now like giving us their trust and saying, I will make you my source of income. So we better put cash in the bank, dude. Right. Like that's the stuff that scares me. So like, am I scared to go into a meeting and talk to somebody about it? No, that never crossed my mind. Am I worried to have conflict or curse out somebody on the phone that's trying to work us over? No, I don't sweat that in any way. But all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, we got to make this work.
Yeah.
Like what's the steps to that? And that's the stuff that makes me nervous. But no, the rest of it's just fun. Like it's a different kind of challenge. Like we're building a different kind of team than we had in sales roles. And, but no, that's it. What do you think? I mean, how are you feeling?
I am overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, there's, you talk about setting up an office. We just set up a 5,000 square foot office with whatever it is, right? Like, we have a podcast room, we have a green screen room, we have like a hangout area, we have a conference room, we've got offices for people, we got a lobby area, and setting all that up that's a full-time job. Yeah. And then you have the TV network, and then you've got the web network, and then you've got this great film project, and then you've got people calling you for all these other things. So it's like there's so many things going on, and you wonder if you're getting enough done to get to that point where you can.
I will say, like, from my role as like sales, like kind of leader of the sales crew, with the thing that helped me with that is you learn there is no finish line.
There's
no finish line.
Yeah.
You just get in a roll and it's like, all right, you're going to hit this quarter and your scramble drill and it's March 22nd and you got 9 days to close it out and you're going, oh, well, April 1st, like you don't go on vacation, right? Like now you got the next one. Yeah. And then that's done and next. So like to me, I look at a list that's a whiteboard as tall as our room long of stuff to do. And you're going, okay, so we're going to do 10 of those things today. And then the other 400 we'll start tackling tomorrow. Like, it's just prioritize and execute, right? Because the list is never going to be 0. And the day the list is 0 is probably the day that you and I just signed our names to sell whatever this is to someone else.
Yeah, I don't know what that looked like. I thought I was busy when I was doing podcasting and AGS sales, and like that was tough. That was busy. Doesn't even hold a candle to my weekends. Like it's pretty
I will
wild.
say on our previous pods, Aaron Ezra and Justin Beltram tried to warn us.
Yeah,
they tried to say, you guys don't know what you're getting into, but now we know, and they were right.
Yeah,
I'm loving it.
I love it too.
I wouldn't change my key at all. I love doing it, but it's just like they were.
Would you go back and redo it?
No.
I wouldn't either. I would go get a job.
Because here's the thing,
I would be a Walmart greeter, and I would just.
Well, I don't want to take away from the jobs we had. I don't want to do it mostly because I think it would mean we failed.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think it would basically mean that we got to a point where we're like, maybe we just got to throw in the towel and go get quote unquote regular jobs.
But we ain't doing that.
But I don't want to do that because like anything beyond this now, like I feel like I don't know if we're trailblazing, but it feels like we're doing stuff no one's really done. Right.
Yeah.
And so you're in a world where, because like I can't tell how many meetings we'll have with like structured senior executives of companies. We're talking about sponsor deals or partnership, cool stuff, and they're going, so what do you guys want to do? And it's like, I don't know. What do you want to do? Like, here's what we're trying to build. Like, let's just be honest. Like, let's just say we don't know what we're doing. We have to find these costs. Here's what we think the market would normally do. What do you want to do? And I go, oh. And it's like weirdly, it seems like it's refreshing to both sides because everyone's saying the same thing. Like the other side doesn't know either.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they get guys coming in doing film projects all the time or that we're whatever, sponsorships we're pitching. And it's kind of like, oh, well, this is new for all of us. So like, let's just see what happens. Let's try to band together and make it happen. So I like the job I had. The reason I don't want to go back is because I feel like that's yesterday. Like that we did that,
100%.
we succeeded, but now tomorrow's something else. So
look, there's a lot of times where we could have thrown the towel in where it was like scary or hard or challenging and you just keep blazing through. You get to that next level, you get to that next level, you get to that next level, and you just keep rolling. But it's important to stop for a minute and take a breath and be like, holy crap.
Dude, look what we did.
There's a lot of stuff. Like there's, this didn't just happen overnight. And obviously we couldn't have done it without everybody's support. We had so much support from everyone listening to this podcast. It's just been awesome. So I'm going to cry. Like the movie thing. Like I'm getting super emotional.
I get it, man. Well, it's good. So I guess that's a roundabout way of saying thanks to everybody for listening.
Yeah,
and for
thank
all
you
those.
guys.
And I would say 99% of the people that have helped us also listen. So you're probably here. Say thank you, right? But if anyone has helped us and they don't listen, then
and we're still taking investments. So if you guys
friends and family, baby,
let's go.
Seriously, reach out on that if you're interested. The other thing, just kidding. But I got like on dodgeball. Anyway, no more movie quotes. The other thing, speaking of like crowdsourcing and help, what we didn't appreciate was how much wall space we have versus how much little artwork we own.
Yeah.
So you'll see cool stuff like you got the bulldog and the frog and like some other stuff throughout the office, right? But
it's from my house.
Yeah, that's right. Your house is now empty.
Yeah.
And now we have it here. But I was gonna say, so like if people have stuff they want to put on the wall, and it could be company stuff. It could be like, hey, we want to throw up, I don't know, the latest game theme artwork, whatever. Like, I don't know, whatever you have. Like, we're here. Like, if you got some cool stuff you want to hang it up, we'll hang it up for you.
That's kind of the whole concept of Burke coming in today. I mean, they brought their new slot machine and we're kind of showing it to the world, right? We've already had 3 influencers here checking it out.
I know they came in the office just like,
put it on our channel.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah, the thought is if you guys want to put machines in here for people to play, we're going to have tons of influencers just coming in and out. Mike and I are starting a slot channel. We'll play on it. We want to help the industry grow in this like format. Like nobody's doing it in this.
Yeah, and like what I think of as more of like I don't want to say real way because it sounds like weird, but like not paid promotional way. Right. Like not saying, and this is OxyClean. It'll take off the stains from your jeans.
The sham wow.
Yeah, the sham wow. Slap chop. But like, anyway, so like, that's not, we do too much of that.
Yeah.
Like, let's just sit down and chop it up. Let's just play the game and see how it plays. Right. And like, that to me is kind of what we're going for. And we'll probably find our way as we grow. But like, I think players and consumers are going, it's just like, just tell me the truth. Like, your product's not perfect. I don't expect it to be.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing I've learned in building so far, as much of this as we have. When you talk to content creators, you just go, look, we're trying to do this thing. It's going to be bumpy. And they all go, yeah, we get it. And it's like, oh, wait, you don't expect me to be like YouTube polished from day one? No, they're a $50 billion company. You guys are rubbing nickels together to hang art on the wall. Like, we get it, right? And it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And so you start realizing that you're going, well, that's everybody, right? Like most people are like, just tell me the truth, man, that, the soda's going to taste fine, but 1 in 12 is going to burst on me. Okay, I'm playing my own. I know, that's why I said it, but that's the odds I'm taking, right? And it's like, hey, the game's going to play pretty smooth, but I might not like this bonus, but I'm going to like that one. It's like, not every game is a perfect Grand Slam game, right? So it's like, let's just talk about it like that.
This is the fantasy factor of gaming, baby.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Just hang out. Landon will kick your ass in some ping pong. I have realized I'm not that good at ping pong.
You're not bad, dude.
I'm not horrible. I'm not going to embarrass myself in a game, but I'm realizing that being built like a spider monkey is better than being built like a gorilla for that game. But
our office is always open.
We're here. Yeah, we're here.
For everyone to come hang out, come play some slot machines. Bring your slot machines over.
Yeah, if you got slot machines,
just rolled up on the back of a truck.
That's right.
It's pretty rad.
A couple hours ago, we just rolled one right in the showroom here, and table games, whatever you have. We'd love to chat about it. Love to see it. So come on by, grab a beer, grab a bubbly, and let's hang out. And if you're listening on YouTube, subscribe.
Yeah, click the like button, subscribe.
We're here.
And watch out for our slot channel because it's coming in hot.
It is not called Two Dudes, One Slot. That's what we thought we were going to call it. But
I didn't even know we were going to tell the world that.
Oh, I don't know. Well, we're not. I figured since we ruled it out, we could.
Our channel was not going to be called Two Dudes, One Slot. But
for 5 minutes.
Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. Should we have done that? Is that a big mistake not using? Anyway, let's get to AB. What do you think?
Let's roll, baby.
Berkey. What's up, man? Thanks for coming in.
Happy to be here, boys.
You're the first one in our new studio.
I love it.
As we keep upgrading, we bring friends in and we say, let's talk about
it. And can we talk about this DeLorean picture?
I was hoping you would.
Yeah.
That's key.
So the thought is we kept the wall for the guests blank. And we were going to let guests bring a certain item. And so I texted Andrew this morning. I said, hey, you got to bring something for the podcast wall, thinking it would just be, something.
Who knows? Like a blueberry.
Yeah, you didn't give me a lot of direction.
Or time.
Yeah, like 4 hours. They bring something to hang on the wall. And I'm like what, a jersey? I don't know.
Yeah. But, I was hoping a shoe, maybe.
Yeah. A shoe, because he's such a shoe guy.
He's such a shoe guy.
Yeah. Well,
we need to get shelves.
Well, you should tell. Okay, so now that you're in the position that you're in and you were on the other end of Landon's ridiculous text going, hey, bring something. Do you think it would be better for us to do this where people bring a hanger, like a hanging piece of art, or
you can
build a shelf and then I'll just set this there. So like if you have a bobblehead that you like or something, and then they can just place it. Like what would be easier?
I think you'll run out of space quickly if everybody brings the.
Well, I assume it would rotate, right? So I assume we would take that, maybe hang it somewhere else, and then have the next guest.
Well, we can start taking down some of our stuff in here.
I went through.
You give me the frog smoking a cigar. I never want that to leave my sight. I think that's the coolest thing.
It's pretty dope.
I used to say my spirit animal was like a rhino or a bear of some kind. Now I think it's Cigar Frog. Yeah. I think that is the guy that
it's a legit spirit
aspire
animal.
to
We
be.
talked about spirit animals last time.
Was that our show? Yeah, it was. That's so weird.
And if you're listening on the podcast, you can also watch on YouTube when this will all make sense.
Oh, yeah. Check out the artwork. Yeah.
Sure. This is an exciting day.
Don't blaze over it. That's yours too.
The skateboarding.
But that's who you are, man. You're like a little bulldog that likes to skateboard in sweet shades.
Legit.
We're all on brand here.
This is a big day for us because this is obviously our first podcast in the new studio. Burke came down, and Burke has some news too because you guys are launching new slot machines.
So in case you haven't seen our earlier episode with old Andrew Burke, CEO of Bluberi Gaming.
Ding.
So when we talk about Burke, that's what we're talking about. When we talk about you guys, we're talking about Bluberi Gaming.
Correct.
Now we're all on the same page. Continue along.
I mean, you take the reign. You were right on a good path.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just want to clarify because you know how people talk and then they go, what the hell does that mean? Like the number one text I get about the show is we'll get on like industry stuff and they'll go
like, I don't know what the hell that means.
What's Tito? You guys keep saying Tito. And it's like, oh yeah.
Or
like
tease.
We got a lot of, yeah. Not the UFC fighter who recently retired. It's the ticket in, ticket out.
Huntington Beach bad boy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We were talking about him earlier today, weirdly enough. So I just want to clarify for the people in their cars.
Andrew also brought something with him today other than a really awesome DeLorean picture.
Mm-hmm. That was probably easier to get here than the other thing.
It was.
What was the other thing? It was like 1,000 pounds.
How much does that Big Mech weigh?
It weighs a lot.
Yeah.
But it was our centerpiece, obviously. G2E.
Yeah.
So we were excited.
So we're like, hey, come on by. And he's like, I'll bring my machine. I'm like, you should bring your machine. So when we're done chatting here, we'll go out and play it and then and just show everybody
awesome,
the new
man.
game. Yeah, that is cool. It looks cool. I'm always a fan of the big boy machines.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, what's like 9 foot? Yeah, I think it's just something you just
like
go with.
Yeah.
You just got like, he's a spider
Look,
monkey.
I think, the market is as competitive as it's ever been. And how do you stand apart?
Yeah.
You know? And so I think this is an effort to really do that and build something different, something unique. And, it's with a partnership with Bazillions, which is owned by Steve Weiss, who I've had a long relationship with personally. And, ironically, Colossal Gaming, which, I acquired in my previous life, founded right down the street.
So what? So
here,
Colossal. So Colossal Gaming made the big red that everyone that was kind of their claim to fame.
Yep.
And then that crew, I guess, once they were done being Colossal Gaming, spun, and now they're Bazillions. Is that kind of the
it's like Colossal was acquired by AGS and the IP and all that kind of stuff. And then after that stuff, you have non-competes and all that kind of stuff went away after 5 years or whatever. Steve started his own company called Bazillions, and he did a deal with Every first and did some projects with them. And then, I think he and I have always kept close and, had a really great relationship. And we felt like we had some unfinished business, I think, and some things we wanted to do product-wise together. And I say we, I mean him.
Yeah,
really.
Like, but somebody to help him push it to market. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I think it's a thing that a lot of companies don't get right, which is you need the product people to build great products, but you have to have the commercial team be passionate about it.
Yeah.
Because if the product team builds something that the commercial team isn't passionate about,
or that they don't
it doesn't
understand.
get off the ground.
Well, or don't understand. The thing I ran into being the commercial guy, right?
Yeah.
And then for most of my career, it's you don't understand. Like if I look at it, I'm going to look at it as me. I'm going to look at it as whatever kind of gambler I am, more risk reward guy. And I'm going to look at it as a sales guy. I'm going to say, what's sexy about it? What do I think the customer's going to like? What I don't look at it as is how the math guy designed it or how the designer said, like when you talk to some of the designers in our former life, like, well, this midpoint of the screen is exactly X amount of inches off the floor because with the chair, that's perfect focal line. You go, what the hell? I never would have sold that. That never comes up in a meeting. But no one tells you that, right? So if the developers probably also need to storytell a little bit and go, okay, here's why we're doing it. And then you can get the commercial guys fired up because it's a big mismatch. And there's so many games that probably don't get their shine because that bridge wasn't made. The developers make a cool product that to them is awesome, but the sales guys never understand it. So it just sits on the shelf.
Yeah. And I think, with Steve and I, we've always had that very, symbiotic relationship between, he sort of thinks of the market need and the product he wants to build for that. And then I've always thought about the commercial outcomes, right?
Yeah.
Like, customers really
make
do
money
want
on
that.
it. Yeah,
exactly.
people would play it.
People would play it. Here's the niche it could go in. Here's where it could go on the floor space. This is what we need to price it at, and so that's always just been a really good, working relationship that way. And so it's exciting to like bring something new and crazy to life because building something mechanical like that, because you guys will see it, but it's a hybrid mechanical.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, man. Like it's a giant game. So it's obviously competing in like that jumbo style.
Yep.
But not really because you could bank this.
Yeah,
so a lot of times
28
jumbo,
inches wide.
Yeah.
So you got the same normal width.
Oh,
of
really?
A slot. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but it is.
I think just because it's so like.
Yeah, it's unique.
I don't
but
know. It's the muscular guy at the gym, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's they're so strong, you think it's bigger than he is.
Yeah. I'm curious, what was one of your biggest challenges of setting up a mechanical style slot machine that you can see through? So like, what was a hurdle that you hit and you're like, are we going to actually do this?
Shit.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you always have a great concept, and this is not unique to us, right? But you got a great idea. Can you bring it to market in a way that's commercially feasible?
Yeah.
Meaning it's going to stand up on the floor. It's not going to break all the time. It's going to be cost effective. It's something you can price at a smart, sort of price point. And then if you get all of that stuff right, do the players like it?
Yeah.
Right. And so I think, this dynamic of working and, to bring a product like this to life, our two teams had to work together.
Yeah.
Bazillions designed it. This is their concept. They worked with the team at Bluberi to port it to our platform and to, bring it to life in terms of the stepper motors and all those kind of things. And there's a ton of challenges along the way, not the least of which is kind of global supply chain challenges.
Well, now especially,
Yeah. So, I mean, looking at what motor do we want? Okay, but what motor can we get?
Yeah,
And so, working our way and building a new mechanical product during that time was a very interesting thing. The product's approved now. So first install is coming. I think it's January 27th at Yamava.
Yamava,
yeah.
Formerly San Manuel. What's up, Peter?
Yeah, so, we're really excited about that. And, it's been 18 months probably to bring it to life, which is not really that long, all said and done.
For a new hardware, it's not.
Not a new hardware thing like
for
that.
A game theme, like a lot of times we would say game theme takes about that long.
Yeah.
So for you to do a theme and a box all that long it's pretty accelerated. It feels like. Why? I'm just interested, like, why this game? Right? Because it's awesome. Like, it's giant. Like, I love that. But then you're going, so 3-reel mechanical is not something you see in a big format.
Yeah.
But someone did it. Did a player make a comment to Steve while he's on the floor? Did some customer go, hey, it'd be cool? Like, how'd that even come to your mind, and why'd you push it forward?
I would say of all of Steve Weiss's, and he hates when I say his name, so I'm going to keep saying
Steve Weiss is
Steve Weiss,
great inventor of games. Yes.
Of all of Steve's ideas, this is the least insane. So like that's pretty
wild. I want to see that. I want to see his
so
book.
Many cool ideas and concepts, and I think as we thought about our partnership, we thought of this portfolio of ever evolving ideas, which one could we get to market?
Yeah, right.
Faster, right, and sooner. And so this was sort of the one that came out of that, and so it's exciting that we were able to kind of get it done and bring it to life, but it's not it. We're going to continue to do other hardware innovations and new crazy things. We had a prototype at G2E of Iron Derby, which was really meant to just...
That was the horse game.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Cool too.
Yeah. Like, it reminded me of...
We need to get that here when that launches.
We just want to just keep running them through.
Keep bringing machines
all
over.
prototypes through the office. But like, that remember the game where you'd pay like $3 and then you roll the ball and then it'll drop in the hole in advance? And then
Midway.
Like, the Midway games, right? Yeah, like the carnival where you try to win a bear for your... Now my kids used to be the girl I was trying to date. And like, that was awesome. So like, that had the nostalgia feeling up top, but like a real slot game down bottom. That was a cool...
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of stuff that inspires Steve, like, and we put that at G2E to just like gather some feedback and thought. So I think the ultimate product that comes out will look quite a bit different than the one that people saw at G2E, but it's cool. It's something different. It's something unique. We're not trying to put 100 of them on a floor.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to put one on the floor, and we want it to be great. And so that's sort of the standard we're trying to meet and work together on.
To Steve's credit, Big Red was a workhorse. I mean, that game, you could put it in and you didn't see a lot of issues. I mean, granted, there are issues. There's issues with every machine, but that machine was solid as they come, right? And if Big Mech is anything in terms of reliability like Big Red was, it's already a solid game in my opinion.
Well, what's always crazy about that game, and maybe that'll translate with Big Mech, is like, you're sitting there and you go, no one ever plays it. You're walking through, you're going, I never see a lot of people. Maybe every now and then you see somebody sit there, but they got like $100 on the meter. But you're going, this thing's crushing your casino performance report. Like, it's in the top 5. And like, so much so they go, just don't count that. Like, it doesn't count as a game in the performance. You can put, where's the money coming from? Like, some random money bags guy is going, throwing money and then just losing. No one ever sees him. But yeah.
Or you see someone, with their date eating a cheeseburger on the bench.
You and your cheeseburger dates.
Yeah, I think it's such a cool product, and it has so many cool things about it that, I think, and it's still one of the best in the business, right? And there's a lot of great, concepts about that we hope, that Steve has as kind of a design archetype in his head, right? The type of things he builds.
Do you see like the biz doing more of this? Like not just Bluberi's business, but like maybe the industry? Because it felt like for a while there, not this cabinet. So good point. But like, it feels like now this is very niche, right? So you're saying that horse, what's the horse product called?
Iron Derby.
Iron Derby. So like Iron Derby, no one else is going to do Iron Derby. Like, that's probably not the thing somebody's walking around G2E going, we're going to do our own Iron Derby. Like that's just not going to happen. Big Mech maybe, because it's like a little more traditional with the reels and just the bigger size. But it feels like you're going, okay, we're going to attack this niche. Got these two kind of cool individual. Like, if you want that, you got to go to Bluberi. And then, like a Ruse with their digital dice. It's like, well, they're doing that thing very specifically. Like, do you think we'll get back to like companies that do like one or two things really well versus like this conglomerate?
I hope so. And I say that selfishly, but like, I think the reason that we tackle something like Iron Derby, with Bazillions is because no one else will do it.
Yeah.
It's not something that the juice isn't worth the squeeze for
the big boys,
somebody big, right? But for somebody like us, it is, and we hope that we can have a little niche there. And, that makes Bluberi attractive. That makes the rest of our products attractive. And I think we saw that effect at G2E where people were super excited about Big Mech, or, I call it Big Mech. The real working title's Reels of Steel. That's what always happens with products.
But Reels of Steel is the theme or is the cabinet?
Reels of Steel is the cabinet.
Okay.
Yeah. I always call it Big Mech because that was the original
working
name.
But the branding people are not liking us right now.
Yeah, that's right. The and so I think that like buzz at the show about those two products brought a lot of people to our booth that maybe wouldn't have come necessarily given our size. And then they saw all of our other products and were like, oh, you guys got some really cool stuff.
Be a real company over here.
Yeah, you guys are a real company. And I'm like, of course we're a real company. It's like when I talk to my mom about where do you work?
Bluberi, I baked a pie out of that the other day.
Exactly. Well, so what's that like, Andrew, being the CEO of a gaming company and saying, look at all the other gaming companies, right? Super easy to say everyone has a curved cabinet and they put LED lights on it and you can't really tell the difference between, IGT's curved cabinet to Aristocrats, Bally's to Bally Scientific Games. What's it like for you to be like, you know what, we're going to go do something completely different than anything and look, do it well?
I think if you look at our company and, we've built a really great team. Mike Brennan joined us probably 6 months ago and is now our chief product officer, in charge of our entire portfolio, and all of our product strategy. And the thing he and I talk a lot about is like our R&D dollars are precious.
Yeah.
And so every game we put out needs to be very thoughtful, needs to be very calculated and very specific on why we're doing it. That does not mean we're going to get it right.
Right. That's why it's scary to take that shot.
That's what I was going to say. Because when you think about game success in slot design, what it always felt like was if you're batting 300, like in baseball, you're an all-star.
Yeah.
You're not going to hit 10 out of 10. 300 is like great. 400 or 500 is unbelievable. So to your point about R&D dollars being scarce, it's like, man, you're taking a big swing here. Like this is a home run or not product,
for sure.
Right? This isn't a bunt, get on base product.
Totally agree. And I think, we're comfortable taking that kind of risk because we've done our due diligence. We've, really worked our way through it to get to an outcome and go, okay, how do we create something exciting and limit our downside?
Yep.
And, some of that for me comes from, my background in private equity, right? I think about calculated risk.
Right.
Right. And so for us, this product's a calculated risk.
They're made for a gambling industry.
That's right. Yeah. And so, we think a lot about that and we use data and, kind of run the numbers to say, okay, like, how many of these do we want to order on the first run? How many do we want to put out? What happens if it's a success? What happens if it's not? And we try to work through all those scenarios before we come to market on something because, again, each shot we take is very special.
Yeah, right.
We're not going to build 50 games a year. We're not going to build 100 games a year, know? So, the guys at Side Games spend more money on bananas than than we spend on R&D.
We were just at their showroom and no one offered me a banana, so I'm a little upset.
That's right.
Damn it, Roger. Yeah. And so, but yeah, no, that's funny. So what's your singles? Like you got the Big Mech, you're swinging the fences, the Iron Derby, the Reels of Steel, the Iron Derby. What's the stuff that you're excited about that's just getting you on base saying, hey, we're going to do a solid job, but it's not making the cover of the magazine?
Yeah. So like the bulk of our game development today is in a town called Drummondville outside of Quebec in Quebec, outside of Montreal, where the company was founded. And, with Mike Brennan coming on board, we've done a whole bunch of things to our game development process and streamlined not only the organization and how they're set up, like the way we actually functionally build games, but what kind of products we're building, and then what are the gates along the way. And so I would say within the last 6 months that Mike's been there, we've now done 2 player focus groups, which I'd never been a part of a player focus group in my career before.
Yep.
I was definitely skeptical, but we had 2 really good ones and put some really great feedback into the products.
Yep.
And so the first of those products that went through the player focus group is now at the lab. It's called Treasure Hunter.
So that's a game?
Yep, it's a game. It's a title. It'll be on our Novus P49. So we expect that to get approved kind of the end of January.
Interesting.
There's a couple other titles behind that. One's called Devil's Lock, which we showed at the show. It's also been through the player focus group process.
Mm-hmm. What is that process?
I was just going to say, and then like what kind of things are they asking for? Like when they're picking you apart, like what's the stuff?
Is it actual players or is it designers?
Okay, it's actual players, and you can actually segment the players and say, we want players that like this style of game.
Okay.
And then you run a bunch of different, you bring the products over there. Obviously you run a bunch of different groups with a moderator. And I think the moderator can make or break the session. So you have to have somebody that's sort of experienced and knows what they're doing. and you can live stream in. So like I could be sitting anywhere and like join the focus group and watch.
You don't have to be behind the glass.
No. And so like some people certainly are behind the glass, but our team in, Quebec, they can't be here all the time. And so they're like, they're in there and they're like, you can ask the moderator questions like, hey, well, can you clarify this or can you clarify that? And so, but I think all of that is awesome. But the question is, what do you do after that? Right? If you're just doing that to check a box and everyone goes, okay, we don't like this game. And you go, okay, cool. But
it's already baked.
We're sending it, ship it, sure. Like, I don't know that that's a good exercise.
Well, it seems like a waste of money on the focus.
Right. So we've put it in the process in a place where we can make actionable, changes based on the feedback from the player focus groups. And now look, it's an art. You don't do all the things the players say. Right.
So give us an example. Give us like, if you can, like, I don't know how much of this is secret sauce, but like, give us one thing that you said.
Secret sauce.
It's Thousand Island, damn it. Yeah. But like, if you said like, hey, this was a feedback that we took and we said we really responded to versus this was like just completely out there and we're like, we're not changing the blue from sky blue to cerulean blue just for you.
Yeah, there was a very simple one that sticks in my mind, which is in Treasure Hunter. It was originally called something different, I think, but there was a Kraken eye symbol. The symbol was like this little bit creepy.
Not the tentacles, just the eye?
The eye. Okay. And it was like a bonus trigger. Okay. And like 3 different groups were like, what is that?
It's creeping me out, man. Yeah.
They're like, somebody said, is it a pill? And I was like, pill? Like, I never even thought of that. But it's just, there is this phenomenon in a great book called Made to Stick. You guys know how I feel about books.
Yeah, big time.
And I'm sure from somewhere else called The Curse of Knowledge. Yeah. And I think when you know something or you're too close to something, it's hard to be objective about it.
Yeah, that
and so I think when you're in the development process and you're building something, you're like, this is going to be genius. Isn't this going to be genius? You're like, yeah, this is going to be genius.
Is totally genius.
And then this person's like, what the hell is that?
What is this pill?
Yeah,
pill. It's a Kraken.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no,
isn't this obvious to you? It's not obvious.
Yeah.
So stuff like that just makes you go, oh shit, we might have got that wrong. So
how long does that take to get it from like a Kraken? What is it now? Is it still like an eye that you just made more clear that it's an eye?
No, we changed it to a completely different symbol. Yeah. And kind of redid that mechanism to be sort of more understandable and sort of less complicated, I would say. And then for us, it took like 4 weeks, 5 weeks to implement the change, which is pretty fast, I think. And so to take that feedback and go quickly, I think is the trick, right? It's just about how fast can you, how willing are you to take the feedback and how fast can you implement it? And I know there's 2 schools of thought, right? There's the Steve Jobs, hey, I don't need customer feedback. I'm going to tell the customer what works. Totally get it. And some people are really, really good at that. And then there's another approach, which is sort of that market, approach, which goes, hey, what do you think would work? How do you think about this? Yeah. And then let's decide if that information is useful. If it's useful, let's make some changes. If it's not useful, let's throw it away. Yeah. So
I think you have to be big enough, like a Facebook or an Apple or somebody like that, to do option 1 successfully. Because like I just the other day, so I updated my phone finally. It's been like a month, the new system. And so I'm like, so I update it, and then all of a sudden my search bar's on the bottom. Shit's different, and I'm going, damn you, Apple, right? Like you totally screwed me. But what am I going to do? All I'm going to do is bitch to you guys about it and go, my search bar is bad, but I'm still using my iPhone every day.
And I can't wait to get the iPhone 14.
I can't wait to get a new one and figure it out, right? So it's like, but if I don't even have a good example, but like, I don't know, like the kebab place, if he changed everything, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'll go somewhere else. Like he's not big enough to tell me what I'm going to do.
That's right.
Whereas Apple is, right? Yeah. So I feel like your approach is probably good. You're going, hey, look, we're just humble slot shop trying to come up with some cool stuff, and like there you go, and boom, let's talk to the players.
Yeah, look, I like to learn. Yeah, that's just an Andrew, that's me thing, right? Like it's me, like not to compare myself in third person. Please cut that out.
But, it's all in.
I do like to learn. I like to learn, and so for me, it's like if I can learn something from that player focus group, if I can learn something from the data, or if we can learn something at Bluberi, like that's awesome, right? And that's the kind of culture I want to be around. Is we're questioning things and saying, do we have the right answer? If not, why not? Right. Yeah. And so, it's fun.
That was my next question. The most important question, I think, of this podcast. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Always.
You having a good time?
Yeah. I mean, look, we've got a great team.
Yeah.
At Bluberi. I mean,
we're all standing outside the door.
Yeah. We brought the entourage. We rolled deep.
Yeah. No doubt. Andrew rolls with a posse. That's what CEO gets you. Yeah. All of a sudden, it used to just be Burke showing up on a Zoom. No big deal. His posse was 2 toddler girls, and now his posse.
I'd rather them be on it.
7 or 8.
I love the energy the team has.
If only I could have seats for 20.
Yeah, I would. I'd bring them all in. Let's do it. Yeah, hand it off.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I could run 20 wires in
no,
this little room.
Hard enough time as it was.
Look, the people make the business great, you know,
Yeah.
and they make the business fun. They make me want to get up every day and work a little harder and, you know, go after the things that, you know, will drive us to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so critical. And like now that we're owners of a business, like that's what we're talking about. Like, are we having a good time? Because like for us, like the trade-off when we were talking to one of your guys out there about it, saying, he's like, how do you like it? I'm like, it's great. I love it. Having more fun than we've ever had. We're working weirdly harder, I would say, making less, right, for now. But it's just like, but we're liking it. We wake up going, what do we get to do today? Right. Versus, and then what was like really satisfying for us just earlier today. And one of our employees kind of said, hey, I love my job. Like, this is cool. I'm so glad
that was really,
this.
that was really
so you're just sitting here
powerful,
going,
man.
awesome, right? Like, that's why you're doing it. Cause you're going to do something. Like, unless you're independently wealthy or in a position where you're like, I don't have to work. You got to go put your time into making money.
For sure.
So why not do something that's fun? Like, I feel like if you're sitting out there and you're going, man, even if you're making a lot of money, like that was the thing about like we were talking about earlier, the jobs Landon and I left, great company. We liked the leadership team. The product was doing well. Like we're making good money, but it was just sitting there going, it just stopped being fun. And it's really no fault of theirs. Like I like to say, wish like on an exit interview, they go, well, what was wrong? I don't know. I wasn't having fun. Well, why not? I don't know. Because you guys are all qualified and competent. It's like normally you leave leadership because they're idiots. Nope, that doesn't apply here. The product's doing well. We're making pay. Like, I just got to go. Yeah. Right. And so it's like, so for a CEO or somebody in charge of business, you're like, you got to make it, just keep people engaged because then they'll stay forever.
I totally agree. You know, and I think each person has to make their own decision on what's fun for them and what, you know, part of the business. And having been through some growth stories and transformations, I think like different people like different parts and different phases of that. You know, some people love the grind, the startup
beginnings,
24/7.
It's a grind.
There's no one to blame but you. You're building, you're growing, you're struggling, you know, and you're advancing. And then some people don't like that. Some people hate that. You know, some people want to go to the next level and go, hey, we got this really good thing. How do we make it better? You know? And so for me, I like this phase, you know, that building, struggling.
Well, that's where I feel like I am. Like I'm laughing. I'm going, I don't know. I'm only like 30, 390-ish day, 100 days in. Yeah. I'm going, right now I love that. But I'm like, check back in 6 months, see if I still have it. Because that grind is like, it doesn't get you right away, right? You're still in the honeymoon grind.
My thing is I just don't know. We're doing so many things.
Oh, man.
There's a million things that are happening. And you're like, is any of this making a difference? Like, am I moving down the road or am I going backwards?
Look, I think the thing that most small companies struggle with is focus and prioritization. Yeah. And it's because you will drown in opportunity when you're small. Yeah. When you're small, the world is yours. You can do anything, you can be anything, and you can go anywhere. Yep. But if you don't go, these are the 4 things that are the most important. Yeah. And put all of your energy and effort into those 4 things, you will drown in opportunity because it's just too hard. Yeah. And there's too few resources, right? It's not like a big company where you can go, oh, let's farm this out to this person, or let's farm this out to that person. When you work at a small business, like
you're the
Bluberi,
farmer. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it. Yeah. You know,
you're bringing artwork from your house.
Yeah, exactly.
Who should do this today? Oh, I should do this today. Yeah, okay.
Earlier.
You know,
like
all right,
we're in
great.
We're in here sweeping the floor and getting everything right. It's like, well, that's okay. Which is funny because in my last role,
that was a funny comment.
Not
I would
as
love
the boss,
to say that.
And then you're going to my last role, somebody would do that for me. Now I'm different. I'm like weirdly higher title, but I'm the one mopping the floor.
Look, I tell people all the time when they come to Bluberi, I'm like, here's the good news. If you don't like the way that we're doing something, you can fix it. Yeah. But like you like really you. Yeah.
We'll do it. Yeah. Here's your screwdriver.
So that's the fun thing about small businesses, you know? And sometimes I think you had a balance, and this is, I think, the phase we find ourselves in right now at Bluberi, which is like a couple years of me being there and the company's been around for a while, changing things, doing new processes, and it's been entrepreneurial, but it's been a little too entrepreneurial, probably a little too messy, right? And so now we're getting into that next phase where it's like, okay, we got some products approved, we got more markets, we've got, you know, more people at the company. Like, let's lay a little bit more foundation, you know, for the future and get a little more organized and disciplined. So
I have to tell the story. It's just kind of funny, man. And no slight to Colin, it's hilarious. Your guys are moving the slot machine in, and Colin's like kind of, you know, watching over him, and he looks at me, he's like, man, it's good to be the boss. Because he's not plugging it.
He's overseeing
About 3 minutes later, my vacuum breaks, and so I'm sweeping all the floors, and I go past him. I'm like, it's good to be the boss.
Yeah, exactly.
As I'm just sweeping up the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, the rare day he doesn't have to use a wrench, probably.
Yeah, he's. I was gonna say,
he's a
he
stud.
was working pretty hard. But
that's right.
So what do you guys do for fun? So like when you talk about keeping the company fun, like I know you guys have Jordans to work, which is cool. So everybody's got like a cool dress code and an easier vibe to be kind of who they are. But are there things in the office like you guys are doing that's just like, this is how we roll to have fun?
Yeah. I think we need to do more of that. My brain is just programmed to think of all the stuff we haven't done rather than all the stuff we've done. And, we need to do a better job of just celebrating, how far we've come. It's not something that comes naturally to me, and it's not just for the company, it's for my own self. I'm more apt to go, well, here's just 20 things I didn't do that I wanted to do
100%
than the things I, did. Hey, pat myself on the back. And so, I've been thinking a lot about, and we've been talking a lot about, and aptly, we have a offsite for our executive leadership team this week, which is why there's a lot of people here in town to talk more about this. But I think, one of the things I've been kind of circling in red on my notes is like, I want to, basically in this order, retain, develop, and recruit great talent.
Yeah.
And interesting. It's usually the other way.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people think about it that way, but it's like, I was just thinking about the other day and I'm like, man, we got really great people. Like
your roster is insane, bro.
And it goes further than the people too, right? Like when you go down and you just go to the accounting team or the warehouse or the game dev team, the QA team, which is lights out. We've never had a bug in this company. Yeah. I'm knocking on all the wood. I'm knocking on all the wood.
This is as wood as it gets.
Very woody. Everywhere, And so how do we keep all those people engaged? How do we keep them wanting to come back? And then how do we develop, our leaders, our young leaders? Like, what are we doing to make sure that those people feel like they have a path and they can grow their skill set as we grow? And then how do we recruit? And so I think, I don't have all the answers to that yet. So if you guys do, let's just get them on the table right now. And I'll start
first of all, take them over to Kangamoo, let them play on the indoor playground, right? Hey, buddy. And then
I love Kangamoo.
Kangamoo's the man. Is the place to go. But then I think, well, it's important what you said earlier, right? Because I feel like when you're like, hey, I think of the 20 things I didn't do, probably one of my most toxic traits for myself, right? Because I'll do that at home. Like we'll have a list of 10 things and I'll knock off 8 of them. And my wife, Desiree, she's like, hey, can we do a lot of stuff? I'm like, yeah, man, do those other 2 things. Like I still got to do those 2 things, right? And she's like, yeah, but you just did. I go, yeah. But I got the And then she's like, you can never enjoy it. Like you just got to take a breath and just go, hey, you just rewired the whole bathroom. You just did it. Yeah. But I still got to like, and so I realized probably just over the New Year's period, like, I got to cut that out, man. Cause like, it's not good for myself. Like I can feel my own energy just going down or like, it's not healthy. And then I can't imagine it's helping everybody else. Cause now she's going, oh, I got to deal with old grumpy face here when it could have been celebration. Cause we did most of the things. Right. So yeah, it's important. And I feel like when I talk to people that are high position, high achievers, unfortunately, that's a common thread. Yeah. Like a lot of us or a lot of folks that have done big things are like, yeah, but I still got the next mountain or the next task or the next milestone. And it's like, dude, you've scored 90 touchdowns. Celebrate one time,
Yeah. Like, yeah, for sure. And I think if I had my way, I would spend every single minute with my employees. Yeah. I haven't been able to do that, and I'd like to do more of that. And I think, that's where you really learn about the business and you really hear about what's going on is like out in the business, right? Talking to those people and hearing what's working, what's not working for them. And, are they happy? Are they, disengaged? Are they engaged? Because ultimately, if everybody's engaged and everybody's pumped and everybody's rowing in the same direction, you're going to get where you want to go a hell of a lot faster than if half the boat is just mailing it in.
Not even rowing.
And the other half isn't, right? So.
That's pretty wild. Yeah. How long have you been at Bluberi now?
A lifetime.
That's what it feels like. I get it. Yeah.
January 13th, 2020. So what's today?
Almost 2 years.
2 years, almost to the
2
day.
days away. Yeah. So
we're recording on the 11th. This might hit the 13th.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
Our new switcher might come out right on time. So
yeah, awesome. It's been great. It's been a great 2 years, and I've learned a lot about. I was in the big seat for 30 days in COVID. Over the world, which is a pretty insane thing. And
good luck. See what you're made of.
I learned a lot during that time. I called. I used a lot of my phone a friend.
Yeah, no doubt.
Things calling guys like David Lopez.
That's one thing I will say that I heard from multiple CEOs or even just senior executives in our biz, and probably across all the industries that exist, was how much collaboration there was all of a sudden. Yeah. So like one day you're competitive and you're going, I want you to lose this deal because that means I win it and I want the business. But and then the world shuts down and all of a sudden it's like all the top guys are on the call going, what are we going to do? How are we going to save the business? How are we going to save our industry? What are we going to, you know? And so that was cool to see from outside. I mean, you were in the circle. I wasn't, but it's like, that's cool to see.
It's just like, you know, Peter Drucker, I think I wrote this on your wall one day, said that most management decisions are between mostly right and probably wrong.
Yeah, right.
Like there's zero right answers,
there's no absolutes,
especially in a situation like that. But there are absolutely better answers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think having a peer group that you can talk to and people that have been experienced or mentors that have sort of been down that road before, you know, it's critical when you take the big seat, because you have a lot of decisions that, you know, come back to you, and you know, it's just you gotta make them and move on, right? And be comfortable with it, and be comfortable with being wrong, because you're gonna be wrong, a lot.
The reason I'm curious on that timeline is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said that it took 18 months to kind of go from concept to having this machine in our office right now. So you've been at Bluberi a little less than 24 months. This took 18. So, I mean, you jumped right in, right? I mean, you got right in and said, hey, I have this crazy cool concept. Let's just do it.
Yeah. And I didn't have it, in fairness. Steve did, but
it was
I think,
there, but
you brought the ingredients together. You knew Steve was going to have a cool idea.
Take appreciation of your task.
Yeah, no, look, I think, you know, there was a lot of things I wanted to do right away, you know, day one. And I think when anybody takes a new job, you go through all the phases of the, like, okay, you know, and particularly in my last job, I was there for a very long time.
Yeah.
You know, and it was awesome.
Over a decade.
Freaking love everybody there. You know, a lot of my people I consider family and friends still there. And it was a great time. It was a great training ground. And when you go to a new role, you go, okay, this is going to be really fun, but can I do this? Like, I've been doing this other thing for a really long time. Can I do this?
My dad told me, he goes, if you take a new job and are not immediately scared shitless that you can't do it, you took the wrong job.
That's right.
Because you've now gone too comfortable.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? So I think you're probably in the right spot.
You know, and I think after a while you start going, okay, skills apply. You know, I can still use this hammer to hit that nail, and, you know, I'll make the things line up. And I think, you know, that's what the last 2 years have been about, is a lot of learning, you know, a lot of painful learning. You touch a stove a lot of times and you go, damn, that's hot. And then you touch it again with your other hand and you're like, do I really need to touch that thing again? You know, and so that's a lot of what the last, you know, 24 months have been for me. You know, but I think when we have come out of these last 24 months and coming out of COVID, which I hope is true, that we're truly, coming out of COVID, like, we're in a better position, you know, like the company's got a better, you know, we have better rounded skill sets in every function. We've got, you know, a better reputation. I think we've got better products approved.
Got better artwork and logos.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Better hipness.
You going to tattoo that?
Was
you going to get the Bluberi on you?
I did, CEO speaking of tattoos. And, you know, now that I'm going to probably put this out in the whole globe, but I did promise our game development team, and I guess I'll go on record as saying this, that if they get a game in the top 25 Eilers, I will get a tattoo.
Let's
of
clarify,
that
because we know Eilers. So we have, by the way, we cannot influence their rankings. That's what I wanted to know. So top overall game list.
Top overall.
Not new,
top
not
25.
Supplier, not small time, the big list.
The big boy list.
So where you have ATI, IGT, Bluberi.
I'm not committing to size or location of said tattoo, but yeah, like
you're going to do it.
We should start to clarify.
You know, you're going to make that list.
Yeah. And then you guys can be there. You guys can be there and broadcast live from the tattoo shop when we do that.
Do it for the gram.
I'm in.
We were talking about that.
How's that for new school?
I love that. That's perfect. Yeah. Hell of a CEO, my man. That's fun. See, that's fun. Like CEOs getting tatted. Well, that's what we were talking about. So we were talking about with our skull, like we were going, hey, we should get that tattoo. We're like, yeah, we'll probably get tattoos of it. And then we mentioned it to like one of our employees, and who mentioned this to people, and they're like, she comes back, she goes, I got like 8 people that are in for this tattoo. And I go, Lando, just so you know, he's like, we got to go now because we got to get first. Like, we'll be in there. And I'm like,
I said, that's the only stipulation I made. I was like, nobody's getting the skull tattoo before at least you or I.
That's it. So literally last night I email an artist. I go, hey, so like, how do I get on your list?
Yeah.
Just try to figure it out. So I'm like, let's go, because we're in, and that's what you do.
I love it.
Yeah, the first call I'm going to get is my mom's going to call me right away. Are you seriously going to get a tattoo of a skull?
Jules, you did not care when he got shot. You don't get to vote on that.
You know who I'm going to get a call from?
Who? Your wife?
Robert Perry.
Oh, RP.
Yeah, RP. Dude, what are you doing?
Sure, you want to do that? Yeah, come on, man. Just it's so funny.
He's going to make fun
God's
of it.
gift. Sure. Do you remember that tattoo?
Yeah.
My favorite. So RP's got such a great humor. So my favorite thing is Andrew gets his arm tat, and then he sends it to the group chat with the boys. He goes, hey, so thinking about getting this, and RP goes, hey, I don't like that. Definitely don't get that. It's like, because he like positions it almost like, he didn't know.
He's like, you're never going to get a job again. He's like, yeah,
that's what I'm counting on. Well, it's funny. So we're at the Raiders game the other night. So Andrew, we go and we're hanging, and it's getting a little rowdy at Chargers, right? And it's not terrible. Like at no point was I really in danger, or do we think we were? But I'm just laughing because I'm sitting there. In my mind, I consciously say to myself, well, we got Andrew there, and I don't call everybody out, a couple other executives, big jobs in the biz, and you're going, I have to be the fighter here because I have my own thing. So if I get arrested, I won't be fired.
Yeah.
But if these guys get arrested, they're done. Like,
I got to go bail everyone out of jail because I'm the only one not there.
Hey, man. Hey, I threw a guy off the balcony. Can you come bail me out? But it's just crossed my mind. Like, now I'm the guy. Like, just like you're the DD, I would have to be the guy that's like, all right, now you fight me. Because you can't get those guys on the arrest report. But now I can because we own our own thing. It's so funny. The things you think when you're just doing it.
I would pick you guys up in a party bus. That's the precinct.
Get the Dom, the Ace of Spades on there, and whatever you drink.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you think? Should we go see the Big Mech? Should we go cut over? Or we got anything where?
Yeah. I mean,
play this
we already kind of have Andrew's gambling stories, and
oh yeah, you got any new ones?
Yeah, anything fun for us?
I always forget now that we get so into chat.
Yeah. I don't know if I have any new ones.
No.
This is a gamble. This Big Mac.
Yeah.
It's a big gamble.
Different kinds of gambles.
Gamble with the company.
I'm in that mindset that this is a big gamble.
Yeah. Calculated risks.
Business decisions are the biggest gamble.
Got to be in it,
though. Well, I think the biggest gamble going on is that McKiskey and I have a bet currently
on
the playoffs.
Oh, boy.
Raiders, Bengals.
Bengals.
So
it's an easy bet. It's not a tattoo bet or anything.
No,
it's simply a lunch bet, but we'll let you know who gets to buy. So
that's right. This Saturday.
This Saturday's the game. Pacific. Lunch will probably be next week, whatever schedules. But wow,
big week.
So that's what we're doing now.
Right.
I'm proud of you, man. It's really awesome to see what you're doing, and you're making big moves, and you're taking calculated risks that seem like they're paying off. That machine looks unbelievable. We were playing it a little bit earlier. It was a lot of fun. So Reels of Steel.
Yeah. I feel like that could be a workout video. That could be a game.
That's right.
There's a lot to it there.
Could be a cover band.
Yeah.
Cover band. Yeah. Window panes, second tour. Andrew is a hair metal guy in high school.
Also, if you're listening to this as well, again, I think we mentioned it, but this wall is literally for our guests. So if you come on the podcast, bring something cool, you have to try to beat this DeLorean picture because
good luck.
It's hand drawn
By Andrew.
It looks it's unreal. It's like the coolest thing we have in the office now, other than the Big Mech. That's
I took it off of my wall and I brought it here.
Beautiful.
That's how we do. You guys. What I would also say is, if you're listening and you have art that's just laying around, send it in. Maybe not for the pod room, but we have like 3,700 square feet of walls.
On a real note, it's very difficult to fill an office. And office furniture is very expensive. We almost went broke.
Furniture we have, but the walls we could use.
We'll take carpets, whatever you guys have.
Maybe it has your logo. Maybe it doesn't. Just send it over.
Yeah.
All right, let's rock and roll, baby.
Let's do it, boys. Thanks for having me.